right. So back to us, the Insight Technology Office. So we're always eager to hear from partners, from our partner ecosystem, what are the challenges you're faced with at pre-sale stage. We do understand that Symantec has grown a lot, either from a real-life perspective through to the perception side of things. We really no longer are the antivirus company, and we just would like to ensure that this is something that you guys are aware of and that we're in a position today to answer maybe some of the challenges that your customers are faced with. So in order to support you with whatever pre-sales requirement you are faced with today, this team is the Insight Technology Office. We've been established like 5 years ago. We're an international team with a EMEA scope, but obviously UK and Ireland hold a special space for us. We do serve the inside sales organization, but we do serve the channel, and we make absolutely no difference in terms of the quality and attention we are providing to the channel, as long as we do ensure that our portfolio of services are aligned with what you would like us to provide you with. So today, if you look into the second column there, we do service distributors, of course, CMS, and our ecosystem of partners. We do provide end-to-end pre-sale service support from the very early contact you have from a technical requirements gathering perspective through to delivering remote proof of concepts, servicing partners and distributors. We've been providing a number of a lot of support to campaigns that are driven by partners, aligned with the focus from the distribution and the partner ecosystem. Today, working very closely with Kieran, Emma, and George in really helping you drive the technologies that are aligned with the requirements of the small business. Sinead Grant and Kieran Hayes later will be taking you through the technologies behind this and help you understand the use cases that can be served. But my main message today is to contact us, and funnily enough, the email address has disappeared from the slide. It's very simple. Just drop a line to ito@symantec.com. It stands for Insight Technology Office. Very often, partners tell us that the most challenging side of them doing a business with Symantec from a pre-sales perspective is understanding the technologies. That's why most of our involvement with the channel has to do with enablement. If this is something that you feel is in line with your expectation, let us know. If you would see other services fit your requirements, just come and have a chat. We'll be here today. Sinead, Ben are here. A number of other folks from the team will join us during the lunch, and would love to hear from you. That's it for me. Thank you. I'm just gonna skip through. Here we go.
Sorry, I've got the order of the presenters slightly. I missed that cue. So I've had the opportunity to kind of talk about how Semantic sees the commercial opportunity. So as I said in my introduction, I'm responsible for running our inside sales team in Dublin. Now again, we are an EMEA-wide team primarily focused on customers within our commercial and small business market segment. Now we are, I think in this office there is a lot of great resources available to our reseller and partner community, and I think even for us as Semantic employees, it can be challenging just to keep up with all of the products, the updates, and everything that we're doing on a technology point of view. And the purpose of my discussion this morning is to try and help give our partner or you guys an opportunity just to understand how Semantic is firstly organized internally in terms of our sales resources. What is our approach to the commercial and small business market segment? So how do we go and drive opportunities for Semantic within that market segment? What does our sales motion, our sales methodology look like? Where do we see the opportunities for it? And the role that the channel plays for us in that particular market segment. So that's what we'll be talking about maybe for 10 or 15 minutes. And then Aloha will give an update or a bit of a presentation around just some of the actual partner programs we have designed in particular for the reseller community that helps drive margin, that helps drive revenue for your organizations. So that'll be the scope of our kind of conversation for the next 30 minutes, or so. And if there's any questions or anything you'd like to know a little bit more about Semantic, please please just reach out. So I joined Symantec around 10 years ago. Before I worked at Symantec, I worked for a company in Johannesburg called Cyber Detectives. Cyber Detectives was a Semantic reseller, and we used to sell all sorts of security technologies. So I remember when I started back in 2003, the first version of Semantic we sold was Semantic Corporate Edition version 7. So for those of you who've been with Semantic for a while, might remember some of those days. And we were quite excited when Semantic launched Semantic Antivirus Corporate Edition, and it had a desktop firewall, and that was just amazing. So we would be phoning up all of our customers talking about the next phase of cybersecurity. Looking back at the journey we've been on since the times of Semantic growing to where we are today. Today we are talking about our integrated cyber defense platform. We are talking about technologies that transcends just the desktop and how we protect our organizations from that. And this industry has had quite a significant change, as you're well aware, between where we had a more traditional kind of environment, very locked down types of networks, to where that has grown, to where we are today, and how the threat landscape has grown with that. So I'll probably tap into some of my times when I was in the reseller world, how we organized ourselves as a reseller. And I think for the most part, I remember walking into every customer that I had in that point of view, and we had a unique value proposition. And our unique value proposition was the fact that we knew the cybersecurity industry better than any of our competitors, that we partnered with some of the leading cybersecurity brands, and we represented a stack of security vendors to go and create a commercial proposition and a cybersecurity solutions for our customers that fit their specific needs. So even for me at that time being a reseller, it was quite difficult to really differentiate between all the vendors, the different technologies, what are all the products that they sell, and most often every time a vendor would walk into our office, we would go, well, what makes you different? And most of the times we would walk out of that meeting going, it's another set of functions and features. So I'm hoping that today we can try and just leave something with you that makes Semantic unique, and what would help you drive conversations with your customers around what the Semantic value proposition is, both from your point of view in terms of your unique services that you offer, as well as how Semantic can help you in that. So internally, this is how we are organized. We basically have two sales teams. Where did Ryan disappear? So Ryan, don't walk away too far. There's someone else I want to introduce. So we have two sales teams in Symantec. We have our enterprise sales team. Enterprise sales team is pretty much the part of our sales organization that would look after some of our larger enterprise type organizations. And that is generally a named list of accounts that we would have. So in our end, for example, I think you all know Shane McKenna. That's just the example. So Shane would have around 20 or 25 accounts, and that's where he spends all of his time. And in the commercial is then pretty much every other organization. And that's where my team sits, and Ryan and Alan is responsible for that market segment. So just a real example of how that's organized in our end. Shane would be responsible for our enterprise customers, and Ryan and Alan would be for the commercial. I think you can very quickly see that talking to an enterprise, let's say that at the accounts that Shane would be involved with, versus talking to an organization that sits in the small and medium enterprise space, it's quite a different conversation. And for us, it is how do we organize ourselves internally best to go and be able to address the complicated cybersecurity requirements of our enterprise organizations, yet be relevant to any other organization that is out there. But that's just essentially how we organize ourselves internally. I think the most important part when we talk about, for us, the commercial business, is the fact that we are massively reliant on our channel community, because there are thousands of organizations that makes up the commercial market segments. And we have, for example, in most territories, not just in Ireland, only one or two resources in let's call it a proactive customer outreach point of view that would cover those market segments. The scale for us comes from the channel community. The scale for us comes from the relationships you have with your organizations and your customers. And that's primarily our route to market, in making sure we get the message of Semantic to those organizations. But again, the challenge for us is we understand that in the reseller community, there are various of our competitors that would be talking to our reseller community as well. And generally, we need to figure out what we do to help you understand more of Semantic better. And I think just in the introduction, we introduced 3 teams that is there that you could leverage when you go talk to your organizations, because we know that most of the times there is so much to talk about at Semantic, and it's pretty difficult to keep up with everything that's going on. So please make use of these resources. All of the resources we introduced this morning could help you in any customer-facing activities. These resources are available for you to reach out to directly in partnership with CMS, and how we can then drive some of those initiatives with your customers. What do we mean with commercial? So, there is different terms and terminologies, and I just want to share how Semantic defines commercial and what that means for us. This is the Gartner definition. So if we look globally, there is around a 55 billion market opportunity for cybersecurity, of which around 20 million sits within the Gartner definition of mid-market and small business. In EMEA, we believe that market opportunity just for SMEs and the mid space is around 6 billion. So the fact that we are, the transactions or the customers that we're dealing with might be a lot smaller than our enterprises, the market opportunity is still significant. And we understand that we need to, as Semantic, for us to be successful in driving our top line revenue, both be able to service the needs of our enterprise organizations, and equally for the large community that sits within small and mid. So when we talk, so this is the Gartner definition, in Semantic. We, as I've said before, enterprise for us is a set of organizations that we manage directly with an account manager, and commercial for us is everything else. In commercial, we see 2 market segments, our kind of mid-tier organizations. These are organizations, let's say, from around 1,000 to 5,000 users. And then our kind of small SMEs, which is anything kind of below 1,000, and then small businesses, anything below 250. And we use those definitions just to give us directionally an understanding of the profile of those organizations, what the typical needs they have, and what are the messages that we need to take to them. You can see, Ryan, I'm not sure if you phoned every single organization that sits in the commercial space in Ireland yet. We'll give him a couple of months to get there, but I think you guys can help him, because he's never going to be able to do that. And just again to explain the scale that we require through our channel community in the small and medium space. Now, I know our biggest challenge as well when it comes to our channel community is, where are we going to make the most money? Where do we get the most margin? And often that sits within kind of that enterprise space. So oftentimes our challenge is, how do we make sure that the SMB market segment is equally as important for you in terms of the margins and the revenues that produces for you versus an enterprise or deal. On average, we find the small and medium transactions are twice as profitable if we just take it at a margin point of view. Now, obviously, you need to do a lot more of those deals to equal an enterprise deal. But that's where the opportunity is, because for the most part, our resellers, and I know we've got, you guys are kind of all in the same space, play in this area. So there is a massive market opportunity we see that sits just underneath the enterprise business, particularly in mid and equally as much in our small SMEs. These are organizations that are bombarded by a fragmented cybersecurity space. There are, I think just in 2018, there was around 350 startups just focused around any type of cybersecurity organization. So as much as I'm looking for Ryan to go and make sure that our mid and SMEs understand the Semantic value proposition, there are a lot of companies that's reaching out to these organizations. And very much in the small and mid space, we are talking to organizations that are probably not as resourced as in the enterprise world, and mostly rely on your inputs for making buying decisions. So there is a big opportunity there. And how do we create scale? And I think that's the question that I want to leave with your teams. Now we do provide scale through an inside motion when it comes to selling. Our motion for selling within the mid and small businesses are very inside led. It's through digital channels, it's through email, it's through calling, and it's through trying to build partnerships, because in an ecosystem of resellers who's already got relationships. I think for me the biggest challenge, and the worry I always say to my team, is when customers are making decisions around cybersecurity, when they make that decision, can they articulate clearly what makes Semantic unique in terms of our value proposition? And most times they don't. And it's our job to make sure they do. And that's kind of our mission statement as an inside group, is to have meaningful conversations with both our customers and our partners, so that when they make decisions around cybersecurity, there's a clear differentiator when it comes to our value proposition. And quite, from my point of view, if I look at anyone else in the cybersecurity industry around what Semantic is doing on our ICDX platform, where we sit in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, how our technologies has been able to help numerous other organizations with their cybersecurity challenges, there is a quite unique value proposition that sits behind the Semantic brand. The difference is what we do to make sure our customers and our partners yourselves understand that. So that's where the opportunity in that is, can we go and create some sort of sales motion with you and with CMS to go and tap into a market segment that currently I believe has got a massive opportunity and is not really there. Most of these organizations right now are trying to make decisions around cybersecurity, and they probably go to a reseller they've got a really great relationship with, regardless of what that reseller's scope or focus is. Sometimes it could be a cybersecurity focused reseller. Most of the time, it's not. So for those of you who are in kind of the cybersecurity kind of focused reseller world, I believe, outside of just what we do in the enterprise space, how can we spin up some campaigns that could very quickly get the message to our mid and SMEs out there around what's unique to your value proposition or not. For those resellers in the room that are probably kind of, cybersecurity might be a little bit or a part of what you do, you know what, every single one of your current customers, whether they've bought Microsoft, Cisco, Job, or whatever the services and technologies you provide, they are right now buying cybersecurity technologies, antivirus, email security solutions from someone, because they're all buying. Cybersecurity, as you know, and the challenges we face, decisions are being made around cybersecurity. So how can we just tap into your current community and figure out who's the ones making decisions right now about cybersecurity, and how do we have a conversation around the unique value proposition between your organization, Semantic, and CMS, and how we can help those organizations. So that's the opportunity that we're asking for your help. For your help. So in Semantic, where do we see the commercial opportunity or the market trends? We see 61% of small businesses targeted by cybercrime. We always hear in the news of other large financial institutions, companies with really strong brands they generally hit, when they get hit with the attack, that kind of makes the mainstream media. And the small businesses, it doesn't really. But they are equally, I'd say, more vulnerable than anyone in our enterprises. So their requirement for cybersecurity is just as important as someone in the enterprise space. And I think you understand this. But there is a real risk and a threat to these organizations that we have a duty as Semantic to protect. So what does the 91% represent? Well, SMEs present 91% of the workforce. So we take in Ireland, we take the entire workforce, small and medium enterprises makes up 91% of that. At a transaction level, I get it. In the enterprise world, the 9% that's left, that's our enterprise organizations, we are talking substantial money being spent on cybersecurity and one-off transactions with a lot of revenue associated to it. But if we talk about our SME market space, and if we take the cumulative amount of opportunity that sits there, you can see in relation to the enterprise world, at a number of users level, it's a much larger market segment with bigger margins than in the enterprise world. So that's where the opportunity lies for us. The 91% of the workforce that sits within our small and medium enterprises. 84% of the transactions we do in Symantec happens in our SME world. So 84% of the licenses we issue goes to SMEs. And mostly within that SME market space, we're talking about protecting you on your desktops, protecting you at your gateways, both antivirus, email, and web. That's where most of the SMEs are making decisions around cybersecurity. And our ITO team will go and spend a bit of time explaining some of those technologies for you. But I want to just highlight through what we're talking about here around the commercial opportunity that exists within our SMEs. And I understand it might be a little more effortful because it means we're having to talk to more customers. It means the type of sales activities and sales campaigns looks a lot different than in the enterprise world, where it's very much one-to-one relationship, pure face-to-face engagements. In the inside world, we're talking scale. We're talking leveraging technology, WebEx, remote demos, email marketing campaigns, and all sorts of other sales techniques which Ryan could partner up with you from an account management point of view, and then a lower and slightly more from a program and programmatic point of view. Our Semantic can help you drive margins, and obviously with CMS you can provide you with any further post-technical support as well as the commercials that you need to go and address that market segment. So I'm not sure right now in terms of your reseller, your company, where it is that you drive most of your revenue from. I guess there's a few organizations or companies that you partner with or do business with that drives most of that revenue. I'm asking for what can we do beyond that? What can we start to think of the market opportunity beyond just those companies who are already spending money? Or there might be a large set of customers that's doing business with you that's not around cybersecurity, but they're making decisions around cybersecurity, but we're just not talking to them. You might not just be asking the question. So we've spoken a bit about this, obviously partnering with Symantec. What's the opportunity for you as a partner community? The Semantic brand still resonates with organizations. Organizations think of us in a variety of ways. Some still see us as antivirus. Some understand the capabilities we have in the enterprise space. But the brand is still, if you're a decision maker around cybersecurity, most often there would be a Google search around what Semantic can do. So that brand still resonates. Obviously, we have a really strong technology portfolio, and the team will give you a bit of that as well. And we just spoke about the sales process and support. So we understand Semantic can be difficult to navigate. We have a lot of products, a lot of SKUs, a lot of ways to quote, a lot of ways to get to a commercial proposition. From today, I hope you can understand, we've got a lot of support for you. There's a lot of teams that you could reach out to that could help you navigate through all of those complexities and help you come to those commercial propositions that's right for your customers. Where does the partner community deliver for Symantec? Well, in our world, when we talk about commercial, small business, SMEs, everything. There is not one deal we do in our organization in the commercial and mid and small space that doesn't involve a reseller. Every single piece of business we do flows through our channel community. You just saw there, that's 84% of our transactions happens through our channel community. So you provide the breadth and the scale we need to go and tap into that market segment. Through your experience in terms of your technical skills, service delivery, we don't get involved in that at all in this market space. We purely rely on your expertise and technical capabilities to go and deliver the services, the post-sale implementations, the SLAs, and everything else that's required to make sure these customers are actually fully consuming our products and driving value from those purchases. And I've spoken a bit about some of the capabilities and everything related to that. So, this is how we believe the ecosystem helps each other. We are part of an ecosystem that coexists, and the ask I have is, can we start to think of how we partner? Here we are, this ecosystem, and I think it's quite unique for all this ecosystem to be in the room today. This entire ecosystem is sitting together. So what can we do as an outcome or a next step for you and your organization to create this and help you make this ecosystem work for you? Both for what Semantic can do, the distribution community channel, and that's how we get to our customers. And statistics show it over and over again. The most successful individuals or organizations in the world are those who've got the largest networks and community of people that support them. And I'm proposing that we start to think of this community more over just a transaction that you need to fulfill, but how can we make this community become strategic to you? So I hope that just through that and looking at this community, can we figure out in your organization, what can we do to make this community a strategic concept, a strategic network, not just something we rely on when we suddenly need a transaction, or when a customer says, hey, I've seen Semantic does this product, can you help? Yes, we will do that. But beyond just that, how can we create that strategic alignment? Okay, so I'll hand over to Aloha, who's going to take you through some of the actual details of the commercial discussion and how we can actually drive some revenue for you with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Harry. So just like what Harry explained over there are loads of opportunities available in commercial space, especially in cybersecurity, and actually 90% of which are actually driven by the partner community. And with that, Symantec would like to help you accelerate your revenue and grow your business. So there are loads of resources available for you to utilize. First, you've probably heard of Margin Builder. Anybody from the room have heard of Margin Builder? None? But that's not a problem. I can actually share you the deck after the whole training, so at least you can have a look at it. I see it myself. It's a very easy platform. It is designed to all resellers. Once you signed up to Secure One program, we have different metal tiers here. We have registered, silver, gold, and platinum. And the way Margin Builder works is that once you identify a small business deals, all you have to do is go to this website in Margin Builder, fill in all the details of your end user information, check which price list you want to use. It will not take much of your time. Actually, it's just 2 minutes, and then you'll get a Margin Builder deal ID that you can pass on to CMS. And depending on your partner registration, which is, say, for example, you're registered silver, gold, or platinum, The middle tier determines your level of expertise, actually, and the amount of bookings you're bringing to Symantec. So say, for example, you're a registered partner right now, and you register a deal to Margin Builder, you'll get up to 10% discount. Once your partner registration accelerated to Silver, that's when you get more discount, which is 20%. Same with Gold and Platinum. So again, have a look at it. I'll show you on the details on how to register the information. It's very easy to use. And right now in Semantic, we do have an incentive available to all resellers as well. And this is to help you drive the SEP Cloud and ESS and also email threat isolation. And the way the incentive works is via point system. So if you register a deal in Margin Builder for SEP Cloud, any of these 3 products, you're going to get 1 point on your registration. And once that deal is closed, you'll get 4 points. So once you reach 5 points, you'll get $100 Amazon voucher. So have a think about it. I know it's not so much, but if you think that you're already doing this in the background, make sure that utilizing the platform because it is available for you guys. And this is gonna end until 5th of July. But if this one is really working well, we might extend it in a couple of quarters. But just go and have a look. Push SEP Cloud and email security safeguard to your customers. And there are actually terms and conditions in this incentive. If in that registration that you submitted to Margin Builder, there's like special pricing, it will not be qualified for the incentive. So it has to be pure Margin Builder, there's no NSB and things like that. And this is driven by our third-party team, which is BC Channels. And I just want to give you a quick overview as well on what has changed in partner program. So for the last fiscal year, 2019, the way it works is that if you want to go up to the next metal tier, there's like different booking requirements. So first, for registered, if you want to go to Silver, you need to at least 10,000 USD accumulated revenue. And before in FY19, they're only taking into consideration the net new bookings, not the subscription extension. So subscription extension, if you think of it, it's kind of like a renewal. So that's why back in FY19, they don't want to consider it as part of your accumulated revenue. But now what has changed in FY20 is that subscription extension bookings plus the net new will all be summed up. So whatever the accumulated revenue will be determined and will be used for you to be accelerated to the next metal tier. And as you can see here, for Silver, there's no need for certified specialists. But if you want to move up to Gold and Platinum, that's when you need to attend the certification and some accreditations in Symantec. Are there any questions so far? So here's just a quick snapshot overview of what are the financial benefits available to partners. So again, for registered, you'll get 10% for Margin Builder, but you don't have only Margin Builder as extra margin you can use. There's also what we call opportunity registration. You can use this if your deals is going above 10,000 USD. So for Silver, you'll get 15%, Gold 20%, and Platinum. As you can see, the higher the metal tier, the more advantage you get. And once you're a Silver, you'll get discount advantage on, if you're a renewal incumbent, you'll get extra discount on that. For Gold, Platinum, you have the Symantec Partner Development Fund, wherein you will discuss that with your channel account manager or distribution partner. And we also have one thing that is being done here in Symantec. We call it Channel Talk Thursday. So if you're familiar in PartnerNet, you can go to Partner University. You can sign up, you can register. We're always hosting like a Channel Talk Thursday. It's every second Thursday of the week, and it's around 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There are loads of activities and topics that we're covering in that Channel Talk Thursday. So for the past Thursdays, we've covered navigating PartnerNet, highlighting partners, how Symantec Internet Security Threat Report is happening nowadays, the proxy-based security for cloud, and this afternoon, we actually have this data loss prevention. I believe it's going to be hosted by one of our solution engineer, Martin Block. So again, I'm going to give you all the details, references that you can have a look so you can sign up to this. It's free, there's no cost in it. All you just have to do is register. And lastly, I just want to put it this value proposition for us to really digest and think about. That when we're talking to customers, this is what we want them to really think, that they don't have to really be worried about cybersecurity. As long as they have the right partner, And we, Symantec, are there in CMS to support you guys and to make sure that they are protected.